Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop.
Hey y'all, Jacob Ledrup here.
Hey guys, Chuck Ritchie here, formerly of Bowl TV.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Schaefer of track staff at Valley Bowling Center in Waverly, New York.
And you're listening to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Yo, the boys from Straight Up 5, Rad Rob, Dr Ocho, and of course JP Jr.
As you know, JP Jr. used to be introduced as the sexiest man in bowling and now the world. But he doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. You'll get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this or any other generation.
Strike, and they claim it. Similarly does it.
So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Dr Ocho. Dr Ocho. And the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr. Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. I am your host, Rad Rob. Rob Francois.
I do.
We all do. This is episode number 154. Good golly. Can't believe we've done 154 episodes about bowling. It's just remarkable. It's more than any other of my podcasts. Well, except for RTW, but nobody listens to that. Let's see who we got in chat. We got Ricky Smith. What's going on, brother? We got Nico, our resident statistician and reporter. What's going on, brother? Stang Man. What up? We got Pete Cow in the house. What's going on, brother? Nico says, in honor of JP, congratulations to the women of Youngstown State for winning the National Bowling Championships in college. That's true. That is true. Congrats to them. Pete Chimalicki's in the house. What's going on? What's up? Good to have everybody here. We got Sperone in the house. What's going on, my brother? All right, fuck him. Michael, he already got me cussing. It's the first minute. That's fine. That's fine. Michael Hanlon, what's going on, brother? The alumnus is happy. Yes, they are. Congrats to Youngstown State. Sean Kelly's in the house. Hey guys, love the show. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I don't know how to introduce my first co-host because here's Chuck. What up, Chuck? Never gonna be on the show, but that's fine. What's going on, brother? Are you close to seeing your neck every day? Let's closer to seeing my feet than I have my neck, honestly. So there's that. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I don't see it, but other people do that. That's cool. Anyway, I don't know how to introduce my first co-host because he's in a very bad mood, and I may have played a part in some of that, or at least I made him in a worse mood. Worse. He's a little bit more pissed off than he was when we first started. So, you know who he is. He's hey Lou9, what's going on, brother? You guys just can keep popping up in the chat. I don't have to introduce Ocho at all. That's fine. He still has the golden mask. He's got an O on it. Well, it looks like a 0. Could be an O or a 0. I don't know. I don't know why he just doesn't get the mask with the 8 on it. That, you know, what did I do? It's not what I did. Well, it is what I did. Anyway, he is the resident doctor of Straight Up 5. He is the Howell House hack. And I'm not gonna go worse. Ocho, what's going on, brother?
In 3 minutes, the show is destroyed with your fucking filibustering. Pardon your language. No one's in a bad mood. Maybe you're in a bad mood because he said you have 12 chins. I would have said 11. So I had your back on that one. I had your back fat on that one. I had your fack on that one. Happy birthday, Nicole. Her birthday is in April, and now we can do it. It's also in May and June, July,
I'm super
August.
excited
And I got good lighting.
To a happy birthday today.
Yes, her birthday was a few days ago. Happy birthday, Nicole.
No, we're not giving people's birthdays away. We just tell them fucking basics.
Why not?
God damn it. Why do you suck so bad? I just want to know. Can you give us that answer? Can we get an answer? Why does Rob without a neck suck so bad?
I would say suck so well, actually, because
I don't know. And I don't think you should be. I mean, listen,
I need to say it. I need the money.
So. Good for you. I mean, that's your stance, man. You're the fucking the righteous one.
Somebody has to pay the bills.
Anyway, yeah, your wife. And
that's true. Hold on.
Who's in a bad mood? Why are you setting the stage?
You are correct. No, you're absolutely right.
Of course I'm correct. We're not going to think a freaking Popeyes eating sloppy second soup sandwich ass is going to be paying the bills. Why am I in a bad mood? What happened? What did you say that I was in a bad mood for?
I'm sure you don't want to get into the whole story again that you told Johnny.
I didn't do anything. Did you do something?
I know. Apparently your wife did.
What? No, we're not talking about her. Nothing that she did.
Okay. All right.
This is not about the quarantine lady.
Okay.
I don't bring my shit.
We still call her that 6 years later? How about the mother of your amazing daughter? How about that?
By the way, she's 2 years and 8 months old today.
That's crazy. Hey, we don't give away birthdays, remember?
That's about how long Rob's neck has been gone. I don't know whether it should have been 12 years and 2 months. I'm sorry.
It's right
That's
here.
my bad.
It's below the.
It's not there. You know what? You're gonna find a freaking remote control under it. Rob's gonna be like, "Oh man, a pack of Newports. I ain't smoked in years. Holy shit!"
I haven't smoked in years, and it wasn't Newports.
It was probably some Lucky Strikes or something, or whatever the gimmicks are.
What did I smoke? Winston Lights.
Mostly. There might be a candy cigarette in there from when he was a kid, with the powder gimmick and the gum.
I wouldn't mind finding that actually.
I bet you Rob had ColecoVision.
The only reason I bought baseball cards.
Remote control.
Hey, the only reason I bought baseball cards was for the gum. I didn't give a fuck about the cards.
Well, that's good for your teeth because it was crunchy. Rob, do the show right for fucking once in your goddamn adult life, non-having neck.
It's 154 episodes. Why would I start doing it right now?
Because
or correctly now.
We're trying to give you a chance to turn the corner.
Do you not want to see Johnny?
Get the show going. Listen, just get the fucking show going.
The show is going. We just don't have the.
It's not going anywhere. Just get the fucking show going.
I'm just trying to.
You're swearing too.
I will.
I'm in a freaking windstorm monsoon, but I'm battling the elements. That's what Ocho does. We got freaking ashes flying at us, embers. It don't matter. Ocho's impervious.
Well, since you've taken over the last 3 shows and talk over our guests, I just figured I'd give the show to you because you won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they were our best 3 shows, too. Yes.
Let's bring in the man of the hour, the Tower of Power. Too sweet to be sour. The number 7 in your program, number 1 in your hearts.
Oh, you suck so bad.
Killing it on Monday nights and Tuesday nights in his league because, well, I mean, he's just that damn good. The one and only sexiest man in the world still. Irregardless of what you think, Ocho.
Irregardless, which is actually a joke, and that's a good Rob joke, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Johnny Petraglia Jr. What up, JP?
Good to see you guys.
Welcome to your show.
I was considering going to Wawa, but then I figured I might.
You had time to get a freaking shorty.
I could have gone to Rhode Island and come back. So that was.
You could have got a Rhode Island pizza and come back with Rob's filibuster.
Seriously,
that's true.
Good as always to be here. And Och, I don't know what you seem perfectly fine. However, if I was sitting outside in 50-degree weather with wind in no sleeves, I'd probably be upset too. So.
No. Everything is good. We're good people.
First thing I really, really need to ask here is I noticed your name is not Rad Rob today. Your name is Rash Rob.
That's normal. That's his normal name.
I certainly understand why it's Rash Rob. I do. I'm assuming you would like to talk about something having to do with a particular person at some point. I'm not sure if Ocho's up to speed on that. I know you want to touch on a couple topics tonight, but as always, it's great to be here. Fucking Mets lost to the Twins again, and I'm not happy about it.
The umpire got smoked, though, if that helps.
Mm-hmm.
The umpire got smoked by a line drive, if that helps.
Well, if he was having a bad game umping, then I'm glad he got what he deserved.
If he had a rash like Rob does, and we know what Rob means, but still, that's the thing. Rob is the perfect candidate to write that because it really could be so different. Because you could imagine, he probably does have one. He probably has many.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's horrible to say, but
the 90s were.
No. It's actually beneficial to the show. Rob, thank you. Thank you.
No, the 90s were wild. I mean, it happens. Take a shot, the shit goes away. It's fine. Keep the shit forever like luggage. Isn't that what Eddie Murphy used to say about the herbs? Yeah.
You're exactly right.
I do want to mention, obviously, what everybody has been talking about. By everybody, I mean just people in the bowling community. I don't think anybody else really cares about it. But something, one of Johnny's favorite people of all time.
Don't bring him into this. That's not how you introduce this fucking segment.
You know what? At this point in my life,
it's fair.
Everybody
right?
says
that's not what you do.
Everybody says what they want about me anyway, so fire away.
No, that's not the point. We're professionals. You do it the right way.
We don't tank plays for personal reasons, so cut the crybaby shit.
Yeah.
Shut up,
baseball,
all right, go ahead.
Anyway, Sean Rash.
Play, I'll stuck your nuts up and stick them up your fucking ass.
Sean Rash, everybody's favorite bad boy, went on his Instagram this week during the TOC. And was it the TOC or was it last week? I don't remember.
It was during the Players Championship.
Players. Okay, that's what I thought. He leads off with integrity, which is fuck. I mean,
Now, was he doing that almost as a dig at himself? Because I wondered that.
Nah, I don't.
Oh, never mind. I don't know him too well, so that.
I don't know. As you all know, this has been my mantra for the past few years. Fuck the other few years when he was a douchebag, but hey, whatever. My vision for the sport of bowling is to have honest and strong moral. I can't even say it with a straight face. Moral principles in all of our players. Your actions define your character. Tonight, I witnessed a low from one of our elite players on the tour. It was appalling. It was indefensible. And it most certainly was in violation of our PBA player conduct rules. I am calling on our players and the PBA to uphold this rule and the integrity of our sport. Do better. So if those don't know exactly what happened, here is a post from Doug Bolage-Licuri. It was a vaping incident. Apparently, Rash had witnessed Belmo vaping during a tournament. And it says, I'm being told by someone with direct knowledge of the incident that there is a video showing Jason Belmonte taking a vape pen out of his shoe cover on the paddock during qualifying. The video in question does not show him actually taking a hit from it. However, another person with a long-standing affiliation to the PBA, looks like Ocho's vaping right now, has told me that no such video exists and no witnesses are willing to come forward at this time. Shout out to one of our former imbeciles of the week, Dan Young, who posted asking PBA members, are you allowed to vape during a tournament? I'm asking for a good friend. loves Stan and showed a map of Australia. Johnny, I don't know if you've spoken to anybody involved in the whole situation or anybody that may have been there or what you have heard, but I have seen a copy of the PBA rules, which I should have saved so I can put it on the screen.
Wasn't there a screenshot of somebody mocking it or something too, or maybe like?
Oh yeah, there was a like an AI picture of Belmo like smoking or like with fucking the vapor juices around him, whatever. You're not allowed to smoke or vape if you have your name shirt on. That's in the PBA rules. You can get fined for that. Oh, I think Chuck Ritchie just sent me. Hold on.
You also can't do it during a competition.
Can't do it during competition as well.
It makes sense. It's not like nobody.
Sean Rash is selling Integrity hoodies. Now
Did he steal that off of South Park with Integrity, like the weed fucking thing?
I don't know. Nobody actually, other than Sean, allegedly, witnessed Belmo allegedly doing anything with a vape pen in or out of the building. Allegedly. So, is this really a big deal out of nothing? Is this Sean with a vendetta?
I mean, look, they didn't expect but they also investigated too. Rob, finish it, man. Do your journalism the right way. They investigated it.
I'm not the almighty Wriggles, so I don't know.
The investigation yielded absolutely nothing. I'm going to speak.
It was nothing.
That's what I figured.
Now, real quick, it took 10 minutes to get me on. I'd like to talk right now. So the first thing that I will say about the situation, unfettered, is I've had a problem with Sean for a little over a decade. He used to be one of my dearest friends. I do not respect him the way that I used to, and I'll be completely upfront about it. Sorry if somebody feels differently. And most people that refute that comment about every single time I bring this up, always like, well, he does so much charity work. He does so much this. Yeah. But he also always wants to be the big fish in the small.
Be a douche and be nice at the same time.
He always figures out a way to use the word integrity when he's doing the exact opposite, like calling Belmo a bottle bitch on television or using curse words when he's talking about the Purple Hammer and then saying, yeah, I said it, I don't give a shit.
Oh, the Russo gimmick, right?
He always goes out of his way to disrespect the integrity of the sport when he's trying to call out people with integrity. And my biggest issue with Sean at this point in my life is the fact that he is one of those people that needs to be in the limelight. And if he is no longer in the limelight, if he is no longer the center of attention, he has to figure out a way to be the center of attention. Sean is one of the best bowlers of all time, but he's no longer relevant on tour. Sure, he'll make a show here and there, but he's no longer relevant on tour. You could chalk it up to injuries. You could chalk it up to ball manufacturers. You can chalk it up to lane conditions. You could chalk it up to two-handers. You could chalk it up to urethane. Every fucking excuse this guy's got in the book, he has used. And he has used it against the bowlers that are always better than him. Belmo has always been better than Sean. And Sean could not stand it from day one. He's always been better. So I have no problem, and I have no problem at all, especially at this point in my life, saying exactly what I just said about what he did. And quite honestly, I have seen several PBA players go out in the middle between games during competition and take 2 or 3 hits off of a real cigarette.
Sure.
I've seen it a million times. Everybody has seen it. I've seen guys drink rum and cokes out of a 32-ounce Pepsi container from the snack bar while they're bowling competition. I mean, you see it all the time. The difference is there's people that keep their mouths shut because they're not affecting anybody by doing it, number one. And then the opposite side of the coin are the people that feel the need to go be a fucking crybaby about it. And that, unfortunately, is what he has become. When he was no longer with Brunswick and he hopped ship to 900 Global, I know the entire backstory as to why that happened.
Sure.
From my obvious roots within the brands, which I'm not going to share. I will.
It was a backstage discussion, and that's we made sure we weren't going to bring this up.
But when it comes to him, dude, it's every single time he opens his mouth nowadays, it's something. It's
for relevance, really.
Heady.
I mean, is that why you think he did it, Johnny? Just to stay relevant? I mean, obviously he's going to the Hall of Fame, so
when's the last time anybody even talked about Sean Rash on the PBA on the TV show?
I couldn't even tell you, honestly.
When's the would he make a double show, or was he on like the Strike Derby or something? Who gives a shit? You know, when is the last time Sean Rash was bowling for a major? When's the last time? Period. You never, ever hear Tommy Jones say anything. Tommy Jones is also one of the greatest bowlers in the world, and we haven't seen much of him, right?
Right.
Do we ever hear Tommy bitching about anything?
Nope. He's just doing his thing.
Wes Malott can barely get to the foul line now. I love the guy to death. I wish we could see him on television more. He had like one of the best 10-year stretches.
I wish I could fix him. I wish I could have been the guy to fix him.
Does he go and bitch about, the approaches have been so tacky and now my back is thrown out, or this guy's vape smoke got in my nose when I was trying to throw a double in the 10th. Like, you don't hear it from anybody else, dude. People get, like, Simo gets mad at himself, and he gets mad at certain issues with what he considers are falsehoods in the rules on tour, and he's outspoken about it. But that's really it, you know? And even
he's transparent about it too, and he'll be like, "Okay, that was my bad. I didn't mean that. Wasn't for you. That was for my own thing."
Yeah. So I mean, sorry about my rant there, but I had to spit that.
It's a perfect rant.
No,
at least a few minutes, because I'm so fucking tired of Sean, dude. Even when he's not around, he pisses me off.
That's fair. I mean, that
was great. Rob, did you hit the horn twice? You should hit it.
No, it's fine.
Dale
Stewart says
you're gonna hit Nicole Neff again, probably.
When he came down under with Parker and Flash, he was the most arrogant and self-centered persons I've ever met. Whereas PP3 and Flash could not have been nicer. We got another Australian here other than Keegan. Nice. Welcome, Dale.
And you know what? Love his family. His family's always been kind. And again, I used to be very, very close with Sean. But something has happened over time where he tries to do things that he considers okay or correct or integrity based. But then he'll turn around and do the exact opposite thing. His actions don't follow suit with his words. Now, when it comes to children and it comes to charity work, Sean is A+. And anybody that's ever worked with him in any charity event will tell you the same thing. But that's really where his focus is on. It's nowhere like somebody else said, he's one of those people that you think is selfless, but he is 1,000% selfish. So whatever reason it was that he had to say that and then have the balls to call him out, I'm sorry you didn't make the show with the players, Sean. I'm sorry you had another week where you didn't fucking make the finals. Go take it like a man.
Should have vaped.
Should have exactly. Should have said, well, Jason,
just relax your brain.
Dan Young wasn't happy about it either. Obviously, he doesn't like Belma, but I mean, even, it said Boog Kroll should be bowling today. End of story. Boog would have been the next in line had Belmo got disqualified for that. Which I don't even think in the rules you can. I think it's just a fine. I don't think there is a disqualification.
There was
regardless, how would they prove it?
All right,
it is okay, but how would they prove it? That's the thing. Nobody had proof.
That's something that's going to happen days later and whatnot. So
no, for instance, if let's say one of the tournament directors goes outside, let's say to walk over to the PBA truck to get a different clipboard or something that he needs. If he walks out there, and let's just use somebody that I know smokes cigarettes, Pete Weber, and Pete Weber's outside smoking a cigarette in between games 2 and 3, Pete Weber is disqualified from the tournament. That's it.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure there have been times in the past where a tournament director will turn his eye and say, I catch you doing that again. You're out of here. Put it out now. Get back inside.
That's why they put their cigarette in their hand like this, I guess, because there's always a high. Gotcha.
Oh, we got all
high school.
Smokers got all the tricks on trying to hide the cigarette. For sure.
It's true. I used to do the same
scratching my ear real quick, or
except that it's summer and there's smoke coming out of your mouth. You do it in 40-degree weather, you're in the clear.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's unfortunate that it had to happen, though.
My shirt while I'm exhaling cigarette smoke.
It's unfortunate that had to happen, especially with him going into the Hall of Fame, because that's all anybody's gonna be talking about right now is him and his post and all that. And to my knowledge, I don't even think Belmo has even addressed it. I don't think he's mentioned a word of it at all.
He's been dealing with Sean for going on what now? 15 years?
Right.
There's just been one nonstop incident after another. They had the clash where it was Rash versus Belmo, and Belmo beat the living crap out of him. Then they had the team event where with the crackling of the bottle, where he had to call him a bottle bitch on national television. He had to bitch about him throwing it with two hands. He had to bitch about this. It's not real bowling. He's got to bitch about the softness of a bowling ball that's been approved by the PBA since its inception. He's a crybaby, man. He's a crybaby.
Yeah.
And I kind of just like, I can't respect somebody like that as much as I want to. I respected Sean's game more than anybody.
I know you've tried.
Big, strong, athletic dude. One of the most talented players I have ever seen throw a bowling ball. Ever. But I just can't get behind somebody who tries to air out somebody's dirty laundry with zero evidence to prove it.
Right.
And not to mention, the only thing that could have come out of it was he gets Belmo disqualified. It wouldn't have helped his situation at all.
Not at all, yeah.
At all. So he was literally doing it just to screw with somebody else's life. And anybody that does that, anybody that goes out of their way to deliberately screw with somebody else's life or livelihood at any point is completely dead to me. I've tried to give people the benefit of the doubt in the past. I've tried to allow it. But I have now reached a point, after being under a microscope for my entire life, I just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
At this point, it's over. I'm sorry about all the cursing tonight. I'm obviously fired up, and this is actually water for those of you who are actually curious about what's in this bottle. So, yeah, that's kind of where I am with this entire situation right now. It's just so ugly. Like, where did all this ugliness in the world come from?
It's been brewing for decades now, but I mean that's a whole nother conversation. But with the invention of the internet, it's only gotten worse, right? Because anybody can go online and say whatever they want. You know, everybody can voice their opinion, whether valid or not, and it's random that he would, even if we took it at face value, if he did notice that, if that was legit, I can understand why he'd be a little bit pissed off about it. But if he did it just to create controversy, that's a dick move. I don't, unless Belmo comes out and says, "Yeah, I fucked up. It was an accident. I forgot I had it on me," or, that
would be stupid. But Sean, if Sean really had integrity himself, what he would have said was, "Jace, I saw you do that, bro."
Yeah, he wouldn't have publicly.
Try not to do it again.
And he didn't even have the balls to call him. He didn't have the balls to call him out by name either. He was very vague about his post.
Right, exactly. And then that's the biggest cop out of it all.
Wondering if he would report the same thing with EJ. I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Only Sean knows. I mean, that's we're never going to have him on the show, so it is what it is.
No, we're not.
Brian Gaskell says there's enough upcoming issues with the tour already. We don't need narcs on top of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No,
well said, Brian. Well said.
Moselle says snitches get stitches.
He's certainly my daughter says that too. Right now from Straight Up 5.
I've got my kid to say that too. It's hilarious. Needs a kidney. What's going on? If the PBA survives, JP Jr. will be a great sergeant at arms. And he has great arms too, so he'll be sergeant of arms.
Thank you.
As well.
I need to bring him back. That'll happen sometime soon once I get
this
through. This
podcast does have an unfettered rep, according to our intro guys. So that's true. That's true, Pete. I love our chat. They're so good.
That's true.
Sperone says Rash has been a bitch since he came on tour. I'm shocked he could even spell integrity. All right, let's move on. So I posed a question in our group yesterday, and then I texted you and Ochi about it. What if the major ball brands got together and decided they want to put together a package to buy the PBA, kind of making it like the NHL, MLB, NFL, so on and so on, where there's a league. There's not really an owner of the league, but each team has a vested interest. Each team has a piece of the pie. And John, you mentioned that you never actually thought of that. So I think it's an interesting topic to kind of dive into. I think personally it would be great for the game because the manufacturers would have a vested interest because it's their livelihood. It's, we know Bowlero has many different interests in real estate and other ventures. It's not just about bowling for them. And I think could that happen? One, and two, do you think it would be better for the sport?
I think that it's a very interesting topic. I am unfortunately not very well business oriented at that level where it comes to ownership of a governing body of something, especially when you have separate interests amongst, say, the three major brands between Storm, Brunswick, and Motive. So having said that, I mean, like, sure, I would think that if Storm, Brunswick, Motive, and then like the accessory and shoe companies, KR Strikeforce, Turbo, Vice, if all the brands that were already had vested interests that are paying product registration to have their stuff be available on television and for use weekly, if they all came together, it would become extremely, extremely political. You would have a lot of, I think, undercutting. You would have a lot of arguments. You would have a lot of separation. It would be a lot more left to right, I would think. But it is an interesting idea to think that if the bowling ball brands could all figure out a way to buy the PBA, I would assume the problem there would still be the same problem that's always risen, is sponsorships, number one.
Right.
We don't have enough sponsorships. We no longer have Budweiser, Firestone, Pepsi, Bayer. We don't have the big. Now we've got John's Awesome Socks, and we've got Beatbox booze energy drinks, and we've got Dude Wipes, clears instead of smears. Those aren't exactly top quality sponsors. So sure. in order to pay these total prize funds, whether they're $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 total purse for the week, and you're distributing checks to, say, the top 52 competitors or however many get a check, it's very, very hard without the money from those companies to raise every single week. So I'll give you the con, and then I want Dr. Ocho's take on this when he comes back, because he's such a brilliant mind and he's always got a thought on something, but I want yours too. I'm going to give you the downside of it, because to me, I would think the downside of it would be is bowling in 2025 is not like it was in 1995. In 1995, 1994, when resin was very, very, very new, and each manufacturer came out with 1, 2, possibly 3 resin bowling balls a year, and they were on 3 p.m. Saturday on ABC Wide World of Sports, primetime television, primetime slot. And there's only so many balls you can buy. And the only places you can buy those bowling balls are inside of pro shops. There was no online stores. You couldn't get the top quality products in Kmart. You had to actually go straight to your local pro shop or whatever pro shop that had enough capital to stock that product. So when you would make when, say, Steve Hoskins would make TV, or Danny Wiseman, because he's been a past guest on the show, when Danny Wiseman makes a TV show throwing a track Critical Mass Code Red in 1995, and he averages 265 in the arena in Erie, Pennsylvania, it's no wonder his incentive for throwing that ball that week and wearing that shirt was $20,000, because the amount of money that he was going to make for that company in just that ball and that bowling ball sales alone covered 30, 40, 50 times that.
Right.
Nowadays, that incentive money is nowhere near what it used to be, number one. Number two, every single time you turn your eye, a new bowling ball is out.
Yep.
I mean, I just drilled a Hypnotize. I just drilled a Torpedo Direct Hit. The Torpedo Direct Hit isn't even out yet, and I'm like the 5th person that I see have it. Like, there's no incentive for the ball companies to purchase the PBA when their main income is bowling balls, and they can't. They have to make bowling balls too fast in order for them to turn a profit that warrants the purchase of something like the PBA. Oach, did you hear everything that I was saying? Where you were out here? What is Rob brought this up in our chat? What is your take on this?
I don't know enough about it. Like, I don't know the business, because I mentioned this. Oh shit, he's gone.
Oh no, I'm here. I'm just
in one of our audio podcasts, I said, well, like, let's think about this. Who owns the NFL? Who owns Major League Baseball?
Right.
And I said, that's the problem with bowling, is like it legit has an owner. I'm telling you, if you go back in the archive, I guarantee it's there, trapdoor memory. And we kind of left it off at that, and we're like, oh, that's a great idea. But so I don't know enough about it, honestly.
Well, let me pose this then. If this were to happen, if the various brands were able to buy the PBA, I think they would have.
What's the value of it? What's it worth? Like, is there like a legit dollar amount, or is
I'm
it?
Sure. It's whatever the market dictates, but it's whatever Bowlero thinks it's worth, or whatever value they want to put it
or
on.
like, is it the last 2 years?
You'd have to go through the books, Oach, and see this is
it's
X
usually the
amount of
last
money
2
that we
years
brought
of their
in.
freaking.
Here you go. Just because, again, you're a steel trap. I'll give you a couple facts from 1997 to the present. I'll make it quick. After PBA lost its relationship with ABC in 1997, the PBA tried to stay alive on CBS Sports Network from, say, 98, 99. And during that time, they would only have 4 guys on the show. The show was only an hour instead of 90 minutes. There was a 3-man shootout and then a title match. And the average first place prize for those 2 seasons was $15,000 for first, which was
meanwhile, it used to be 100. So okay, now give me.
And now think about this. Here's the end of it. In the early 2000s, they bring in Steve Miller from Nike.
That's what I remember.
Try and pump up, and they bring in Chris Peters.
The internet guys.
Billionaires from Microsoft. Exactly.
Yeah.
They tried to turn bowling into /WWE, trash talking, offering all these crazy prizes, the road to the world championship, $120,000 for the last event of the season. It was.
Which, remember, this is extreme games time now. This is when, people were backflipping motorcycles. Like, I'm not against the idea. It's just, it's still bowling.
But my point here is the business end, because those, even though they had more money than they could spend, Chris Peters and those guys from Microsoft, after 2-3 years, said, well, we are businessmen and we would like to make money, and this is not making us money.
Even at that point.
So even at that point, like when you have the money behind you, they couldn't save it. The PBA is doing a beautiful job handling the sport in the current era that we're at. Like they're
kind of floating. They're kind of like floating on.
They are floating, and you can still make a living. There's about 5 guys out there on the regular tour that can still make a living. But there's only about 5, maybe 10.
Well, JP, real quick. So you mentioned 1997. And I know it was a steady decline, but like, was it only sponsors? Like, I don't even know that. Like prior to 97, between being Wild World of Sports and Firestone, and was it only sponsors that carried the PBA at that point?
Essentially, isn't that what we talked about last week, right?
Well, it's kind of like what Chuck just said. Chuck just flat out said, They didn't want the alcohol sponsors. They didn't want the cigarette sponsors were gone with, like Joe Camel era. But they don't want bowling to be represented with alcohol. Meanwhile, alcohol is like the definition of bowling.
Yankee games, they'd say, hey, Don Mattingly, this bud's for you.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, one of the greatest commercials of all time from the 70s on the PBA was when Deacon Jones of the Fearsome Foursome comes in and he does the roses are red, violets are blue poem with Bud Light. Or when Don Carter is sitting on the ball return with a famous athlete from every single sport, and they're all drinking Budweisers together.
Or the Miller Lite one. All we need is 1 pin, Rodney. And
yes,
he freaking
exactly.
It's a bowling commercial. And Bubba Smith pushes his fingers in a bowling ball.
Seagram's Coolers comes in for 1 year in the late 80s.
The fucking bull.
Yeah, and pays $100,000 for first place, Del Valle, for the U.S. So 1 year they were there. I mean,
so they had guys coming to them, and now it's man.
Well, I mean, Slim said last week, I mean, every event was sponsored. It was the True Value Open, it was the Splitfire, in Erie, it was
Classic, the Showboat Invitational, the Tums Classic,
and I still remember every one of those commercials too. Yeah. Honestly, this is God's honest truth. Like
the Quaker State 250.
Yep.
The the Splitfire Spark Plug Open, the first event ever contested in an actual arena with 5,000 people watching in the stands. It was the birth of a new era for bowling, but it all happened in the prime TVs in the prime time slot.
Yeah.
You know why?
Belmo was right, because Belmo was like, why did it trail off? And that's where
why I had to rewatch the Players Championship 3 times? Because I was watching the Masters.
Right.
Who's gonna watch bowling when the Masters is on.
Dude, and they got Rory McIlroy bogeys the last hole to force a playoff with Justin Rose. Like,
yep,
right.
Absolutely
I'm shrieking at Applebee's, and I thought I'm going to get kicked out. And the manager comes over. He's like, "I'm the manager. I'm watching with you. You're good."
I love Tom Clark, and I don't know how much control he has over the schedules as far as scheduling tournaments and bowling alleys and reserving the time. But I mean, that's a clusterfuck of the ages to schedule one of your biggest tournaments against the golf tournament. Like,
dude, Rob, when bowling was on ESPN, this first, I'm going to tell you a quick 2-part story here. First is from the late, great, rest in peace, O.J. Olszewski, who's one of the most well-known ball drillers in the Northeast of all time. O.J. Olszewski and his wife, Angela, were on vacation in, I believe it was Florida, and they were at ESPN Zone. ESPN Zone. You guys heard of that? They got something like 278 televisions inside an ESPN Zone.
I've been there, yeah.
And OJ walks in. He walks up to the bar to get his usual beverage or whatever he's doing.
He liked BlackBerry too, because he would take my BlackBerry from me.
Yeah. And every single television is on, and the bowling show is on. It's on ESPN. It's not on ESPN2. It's not on the Ocho. It's not on ESPNU. It's not on ESPN.
It's straight up ESPN.
It's live on ESPN, channel 36 here in New Jersey if you have basic cable. And OJ goes up to the bartender and says, "Hey, can you turn on ESPN?" And the guy flips to the station and sees that it's bowling and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to put that on."
No
OJ goes,
fucking
OJ
way.
says
No
to him,
fucking
he goes,
way.
OJ literally says, "It's your main network.
It's ESPN. No fucking way. No,
they don't
come
want it on here." Bowling is the only sport on ESPN in the history of ESPN that had to pay ESPN to broadcast their shows every single week.
No shit.
And I'm just telling you this for straight transparency. Johnny told me this about 18 years ago, and I didn't believe it.
Me or my
in
dad?
my office, I swear to God on my life, and I didn't get it because I was like, Scrabble is on ESPN sometimes. He was
Junior
like,
or senior told you that?
No, this guy, this
Okay.
smart ass motherfucker right here.
I do.
And that's why I swear I didn't want to cut him off because I knew he was going to say that, and it blew my mind. I was like, wait a second, there's a professional sport that is now paying instead of being paid.
Bro, people watch pickleball and cornhole.
I'm not sure if that's right. My thing was Scrabble.
Jesus Christ.
It's true.
Like it's the second coming of Christ. I love cornhole and I enjoy pickleball. I'll watch cornhole, but it's certainly not more exciting.
I played tennis for years. I'm offended by fucking pickleball.
Yeah.
I love pickleball. I love watching Agassi get out there and just rip it.
Needs a kidney. I did not know that, which is absolutely crazy to me because that's a very, very rich sport.
And every other sport. Nope, I just muted myself.
Anyway, just for transparency, like Johnny told me this 18 years ago, so it's not like he's just pulling it out of his ass. This is a God's honest truth statement. So
even WWE gets billions of dollars for their TV rights, and they don't have to pay for production costs. I mean, that's crazy.
Like I said, we can bark up this tree all day long.
Well, and we did this the first year of our podcast, honestly, too.
But we never thought about what would happen if somebody else with a more vested interest in the sport would own it, and that would be the ball manufacturers and Vice and all the other subsidies. And to me, since it's their sole focus of income, right? I think they would have a better job of getting a team together and going out and trying to get those advertisers. Where to me, I don't think Bowlero even gives a shit.
Bowlero cares more about the entertainment aspect of the sport, which is why everybody that's a bowler, whether it's a league bowler, amateur player, pro bowler, they hate going into a Bowlero center. Like, let's just say your typical league bowler. Again, I'm not using myself as an example here because I could never go into and bowl and drink 3 beers in 3 league games. But let's say your typical league bowler walks into a Bowlero and he wants to order a Miller Lite. A Miller Lite is like $8.50 at a Bowlero. A shot of tequila in a Bowlero is like $12.50 for a single. So you're automatically telling the majority of your league bowlers, go fuck yourself. Because you're already, even if you are showing up for league, you're paying $40 for your envelope.
No
the
shit.
conditions are horrible because it's catered to the recreational player, not the league player. They don't even want leagues there. They just want the parties, the corporate parties, the birthday parties,
right?
All that crap. So now it's like, shit, if I want to go and enjoy myself and have half of what I normally drink and pay for league, it's like $150 a night. It's like taking my family to the movies and getting popcorn, soda, and chocolate. It's a lot of money to do that 36 weeks out of the year if you're bowling league, right?
Right.
On top of that, every single time you go to a Bowlero center, your bowling ball feels like the lanes have been oiled with duck sauce. It's corroded just with this slimy, greasy nonsense. There's M&Ms, popcorn, and chicken fingers all over the floor. The approaches are like ice skating rinks or, I don't know, scratch pads, depending on which one you're in.
Ocho is a messy eater.
They cater to the entertainment aspect, and I'll tell you what, man, those two something. There's a reason it's the number one participatory sport in America because people keep going. That everybody bowls, but nobody ever wants to bowl. Like they don't care about
really
that cares about bowling.
If I want to dress up, have chicken wings, and drink margaritas, I go to the bowling alley.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Hi, Evie. Hang on 1 second, honey.
That's not bad either. We're not shunning the guys who want to do it as a goof because that's how most people get involved in it anyway.
Right.
That's
right.
when I was my 7th birthday. My mother took me bowling, and it said "Happy 7th birthday to Ocho." I didn't even know she knew my name, by the way.
Who, your mom?
At Halloween's, and I was like, "There's just something fucking wild about this game," and that was it.
I'm happy. Bring back Joey. Sorry, Ocho.
No, go.
No. Ocho, finish, but leave Joey Pants down.
No, that was it. It's like, because
Joey
you don't want to say
Pants.
fuck the recreational guys either, because like you still, I don't mean like the guys that want to come and throw it 100 miles an hour and press their girl and then get laid in the bathroom, which is fine. Good for them too. I say bring them all in. Anything that brings it in. But when you have to try and like organize a league, at least make it beneficial to the house and at least to the players, and then, shit that they don't do from what I understand. And I'm really on the outside of this, honestly.
Yeah, you are.
Joey Pants brings up a first of all, we all know that Joey Pants does the best he can to preserve this sport. And I've said this in past shows. If we had 1 million more Phyllis Puntereros, like the definition of a bowling fan, it's the exact same thing as if we had 1 million more Joey Pants. We need to reincarnate the understanding, the knowledge, and the beauty behind this game, but we also need to get it to a point where, like, there is a reason why everybody plays golf, dude. Yes, there's weekend warriors that go out there to drink beers with their friends and go out. And quite honestly, I think even that is kind of misjudged, because even if you are drinking or smoking or doing your thing on the golf course, every single time you approach a golf ball, you have something else to think about. You learn discipline, you learn consistency, you learn how to control emotions. It's the most soothing and like one of the best things you can do.
It's therapy. It's straight up therapy, dude.
Therapy for 4.5 hours every day, and you learn something about yourself 80 to 100 times every single 18 holes you play. And in bowling, and here's the best part. The reason so many people play golf now, it all started with Tiger Woods, at least for our generation.
Sure.
But it's because if you win one golf tournament, your life changes for the rest of your life. Could you imagine?
And you're exempt for about 5
Could you
years.
imagine,
You
like E.J. Tackett is Scotty Scheffler. Could you imagine if E.J. Tackett was earning what Scotty Scheffler was earning? Do you think we'd really have a problem?
So again, I'll bring this up.
No, not at all.
But I brought this up before. And again, Johnny, your dad told me this. He said it was 1971. I know. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but think
Your
about
dad told
it
you
now.
that. His dad told you that in
Perfect-
1971. You weren't even alive in 1971.
Perfect segue. I don't know what no, he told me this.
In 1971.
First of all, Ocho is ageless and timeless. That senior led, I think he won like 90 grand in earnings. Now think about it's 1971. Extrapolate that shit out. I'm not counting anybody's money. That's not the point. My point is Johnny Miller was the lead. I'm recalling this as he's telling me this. Johnny Miller was the leading earner in the PGA and it was like $291,000. I hope I'm right because I swear to God on my life, I think I'm within $1.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
You are very, very, very close. It's a 3-to-1 ratio.
And it was about a 3-to-1 ratio. And he was like, and it stayed like that through the 80s. And then it dropped off in the 90s as maybe when you said 97. And then obviously Tiger came in. But my point is, and they're very similar too. Remember watching in 1982, bowling, suits in the crowd, cigar smoking people, but like very professional. It wasn't, I don't know, man. It was very professional. The whole dynamic of it. Everything was written as professional. Chris Schenkel, it just bled like a true fucking professional broadcast. Production, everything.
I couldn't agree more. And you know what makes shows successful is over time is consistency. Think about, because I'm with mom and dad tonight, and obviously at 7:00 and 7:30, there's two shows my parents have watched religiously on ABC:
Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, probably.
You got it. So Johnny Gilbert's voice has been there for 40 years now. Alex Trebek is gone, but now it's the Alex Trebek stage, and the best sequel ever in Ken Jennings is now the host. The format of the show is exactly the same. Sure, they added invitational tournaments. We got celebrity, but the format for the show is exactly the same. Jeopardy, Double Jeopardy, Final Jeopardy, 2 daily doubles in the second round, 1 in the regular.
Much like any sport, too.
Wheel of Fortune, when it was Vanna and Pat Sajak, they talked to each other for 10 seconds before she went to the board and he went to the wheel. You introduce everybody, and now it's Ryan Seacrest. Now you got your toss-ups, you got your
Sorry. The land in your backyard?
I thought Rob was playing something like funny in the background.
Not me.
You have your mystery round.
I'm outside, man. I got freaking this. When I do this, they think guns are ablazing. So I got airplanes flying over. They're like, "Oh man, he's shooting 357 Magnums."
But I guess what I was getting at here is it's consistent. The Voice, American Idol, they're always on at the same time. Like if you're a Yellowstone fan, when the new episode of the new season drops. Anyway, let's
Sopranos, right? Like think about the Sopranos.
Exactly. I really like that Joey Pants is here because I actually just watched, y'all know I fall asleep to bowling every night. So I actually just watched him 2 nights ago throwing that pit bull when he made the show at the Masters. So I wanted to see what he had to say.
John Rome brings up a great point, and our chat's talking about prices right now and how ridiculous it is. He said, this weekend was my daughter's 13th birthday. Happy birthday to your daughter. My wife took her and 4 friends to bowl. It was $70 to bowl, 1 game with shoes, $11 per game at Strathmore, Bowlero. When she texted me, I wanted to go there and drive my car through the front fucking door. It is true, and I've talked about the prices here in Tennessee. At the
Amen.
At the Smyrna Bowling Center, it's if you want a family affordable for an hour, with shoes and everything, it's about $80. It's they don't just charge the pair per hour; they charge the person per hour.
Yep,
which is fucking ridiculous. And, I mean, there is no lineage anymore, as far as I know, in most of bowling centers where you just play per game.
Howell Lanes and rev rates inside Howell Lanes so great. You can still get individual games in the regular bowling alley.
That's good.
And in rev rates, there's a set price. There's a set price per hour for 1 person. But if you have 6 people, the price goes down. So you could literally go there with 6 people. It's like, shit, I'll get this pair for 2 hours because I know it's only going to cost me $9.
Right.
6 of us.
Yeah.
You can bowl 2 games in 2 hours with 6 people. No problem. Like that makes it enjoyable, and that brings repeat customers back. But here's the other problem, for me at least, is when it comes to Bowlero makes money hand over fist. We're sitting here bitching about it because we're bowlers.
Right.
But people that aren't bowlers, that are just going for like a nice day, they're looking at it like it's a Dave & Buster's. They're looking at it like they're going to Topgolf. They don't care about the things that bowlers care about. And why should they? There's nothing in there that even suggests that they should. There's no bowling memorabilia. If a Bowlero center has a pro shop, it's usually hidden. It's usually somewhere like out of the way. They don't care about that. They don't care about that group of us because there's not enough of us left.
Right.
Less than 2 million members now. There's not enough of us left for them to manage the takeover that they took. Or
what do your weekly dues consist of? Is it just to the USBC or is it also to the house? I haven't bowled leagues in 10 years, so I don't know what the breakdown anymore.
Well, I only bowl in 2 mom and pop centers. I bowl at the Martino's facility in Hope Lawn at Majestic, and I bowl at Charlie and Neil's place in Howell. But like, for instance, my Monday league is $31, but our prize fund is worth it. So the league costs you what, like $1,000, $1,100 for the year, but you could leave the league with $3,500,
right?
And you could win 500 in pots a night. So it's not only like a little kind of like savings account for 9 months. Like, hey, at the end of 9 months, I've basically, even if you do bad, you're going to get back a little bit.
Yeah.
And then at Majestic, it's like $2,500 a man, and the dues there are the same. They're like around $35, or they're both around $30.
And part of that goes to the prize fund, part of that goes to the house. And if I remember right, there's a yearly dues for the USBC
per county. So, for instance, if like Howell Lanes is located in Monmouth County, whereas Majestic is located in Middlesex County.
Yeah.
But if you pay your $25 dues for Middlesex County, you also are included in Union County. So I paid $25 to USBC to be sanctioned in Middlesex and Union via Majestic. And then I got like a half price because I'm already sanctioned in another county, I paid $11 or $12 to be sanctioned in Monmouth County.
Right.
That is totally different than your league dues for the week.
Okay.
That's money that's due to the governing body.
Gotcha. For
you to be in a sanctioned league. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been in leagues, but it's, we brought up many times about it's not the the blue collar sport anymore, because it's just getting we're getting more and more, our families are getting priced out. Like it's every 5-6 month thing. Let's go bowling for a couple hours, right? And spend $100 and something plus food and all that shit. Like, it's not something you can do every week anymore unless you are making a lot of money. It's a white collar sport.
And that's why it's so difficult to spawn the new generation of bowlers. Like, think about this, Rob. You have a young daughter. Ocho has a young daughter.
Yeah.
When I was 3 or 4 years old, I'm a bad example because my dad is who he is, and I'm saying that very, very humbly. But like, let's just say my name was John Smith, and my dad and I really, really like bowling, and so did my dad. My dad could take me up the road. We could throw up the bumpers, and I could bowl for 3 hours. I could bowl for 2 hours, bowl 3 games, and it was like $6. I could do that 5 days a week. I could go to the bowling alley with $20, eat a hamburger, play a couple video games, and bowl for 2 hours and like get better at bowling. You could still go to a driving range and spend $8 and get a bucket of 120 golf balls and hone in your skills, and then go try it out on the golf course if you want. Sure. In bowling now, you take your daughter bowling at Bowlero, you take her to bowl 2 games. It's a lot.
Yeah.
You can't do that twice a week. I mean, you can, but
we could, but it's not in the budget. But I mean, a lot of people are kind of weighing in on what it costs for lineage and per hours and all that. And it is getting out of control. And how do you rectify that at this point? Right. You can't, like, the genie's already out of the bottle. Like, you can't put it back in. Like, it is what it is. I'm sure inflation obviously goes up and down. Maybe when prices of cost of goods comes down, they may lower their rates, but it's still going to be higher than we're used to. And without like, I guess the only way you could get the next crop of bowling is if kids go to school for it, right? If they get scholarships in college, or if they have high school bowling teams and college bowling teams. Well, than that, you got to have enough money to. Kobe could go out and shoot hoops for fucking 7 hours a day, right, at any park for free. I mean, I'm sure he had his own court, but either way, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody can go out and just shoot hoops at any recreational facility, any park for free and become a star in the NBA. You can't do that in bowling.
No, you can't. And I was going to say something here. I'll get it back. I'll get it. I had a good point there, and my brain, I lost it. I'll get it back. I forgot what we were talking about before that, but for some reason I was thinking of bowlers like Ethan Fiore and Ryan Barnes, and I was thinking about how like good that crop is, but how small the crop is when I see the size of the fields at PBA events now.
True.
And the problem is, I would hope that somehow, some way, somebody turns it around. But at this point, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult to keep bowling going simply because of the lack of availability. Like, I'm from New Jersey, man. If I wanted to be a pro hockey player, there's only so many ice skating rinks here. This isn't Canada where there's a fucking hockey rink on every single corner. This isn't Russia. This is if you're in South Florida, or if you're from Cuba, or you're from the Dominican Republic, even if you're playing with a milk carton as a baseball glove, you get good at baseball.
Right.
Like there's certain where you are geographically kind of determines what you're going to be good at some point. There's not a lot of really, really great golfers from Minnesota, but there's a shit ton from Florida. There's a shit ton from California.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had such a good thought that we were on such a good topic there talking about bowling and Bowlero. It's okay. Anyway, welcome back, Dr. Ocho.
I mean, yeah, there are other sports. Like you said, ice hockey is expensive. Clearly, golf is expensive as well if you want to get into it as a kid. I mean, there's, unless you have like a local club where there's not a lot of greens fees and all that. But so, yeah, there are certain sports. But then again, those sports pay more too. You have to spend a lot of money to buy bowling balls and buy equipment, right? Like your kid is going to want to have what they see EJ thrown on TV, what they see Belmo thrown on TV. That's super expensive. And it's almost unattainable at this point, unless you come from a wealthy family.
And every 2 or 3 weeks, they're throwing something different.
Right.
So if you don't have a connection with your local proprietor, if you don't have any other bowling center in your area other than a Bowlero, if you don't have a connection with your pro shop guy that can toss you a couple free games a day, this kid, let's just take Ethan Fiore, who's sensational, and congratulations, 17, 18 years old. The kid's in school. The kid has got everything he needs right now. He's one of the very, very few that has everything he needs.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are 1,000 bowlers across the United States as good as Ethan that don't have the means for the practice time, the money for the insane amount of call for new bowling balls and new equipment.
Yeah.
And forget about just the balls, dude. You need a new chamois every few weeks. That's $25. You need a roll of this stuff. That's $20 every 2 weeks. Like the accessories, the shoes $30 for a different slide sole, a different heel.
Yep.
Bags to accommodate, travel fees, expenses for the bags that are over 50 pounds. It's a nightmare to be a bowler. And to go and say to somebody, hey, look, if you're willing to spend white collar money on the off chance that you're one of the top 5 in the world, you might profit like $100,000 a year. It's difficult to get people to do it that aren't already there, or people that have the means to be there.
Right.
What do you think, Coach?
And then Tammy says, especially kids, right? They're always growing. Her son keeps growing out of his shoes. So then what do you do?
Forgot about it. Tammy, by the way, I saw your post earlier. I already spoke with Tony Norsha. I am thankfully and honored to be your son's pro for one game on both squads on the first. So
badass.
Looking forward to seeing you both.
Ouch, is there any way to rectify it? Short of getting obviously, it doesn't even matter who owns the PBA, right? Like, you need sponsors.
It goes back to what we've been saying. You're asking the wrong guy, man. I'm a small business owner. This is I think in small terms of little increments. It's the fact that it's a sport and it's a how do you do it? It started off with who owns the NFL, who owns the Major League Baseball, but apparently somebody has to own bowling.
Yeah, they have to,
and that's how it started.
That's why
this is the question I posed a year and a half ago.
That's why
on our audio podcast. So
right. That's why I'd hoped if the manufacturers could get together and buy the leagues, keep Tom Clark or whoever as a commissioner, just like hockey has a commissioner and baseball has a commissioner, blah blah blah. Where they can regulate and have a board of directors if they, whatever.
But where does that go anyway, though? That just, I mean, I love the competition, but that means all the ball manufacturers may run out of money soon too, which I don't know.
That's the other issue.
Recently, so
that could happen.
And that's what I said earlier is if the billionaires from Microsoft couldn't last more than 3 years, what are the ball and especially nowadays where they make bowling balls so insanely fast.
There's a truck filled with freaking 800 freaking bowling balls for people to drill up, and then pretty soon that truck's going to have 400 bowling balls, and then it's going to have 30.
Well, then does that start at the top? Then what if Bowlero says, puts out an edict saying, "Look, you put out too many balls." Like,
does Bowlero even know this though? Like, that's the thing.
No, I don't think Bowlero has
they don't have a clue.
I don't think they give a shit. What I guess I wish I had more knowledge of, I guess I'm ignorant here, but what I don't understand is if we're in the late 80s, we had nearly 7 million members, USBC sanctioned members. Well, at that time, ABC sanctioned members, YABA. WIBC at that time.
What are we down to, like 1.5 or 2?
Well, we're under 2 million. You tell me why we need to come out with so many bowling balls now with less than 2 million members. I would think that the manufacturer is like, let's take a brand like Motive. You make a ball let's say you make 8 balls and you release them all at once, and one of them happens to be the Venom Shock and one of them happens to be the Jackal Ghost. The same way with Storm. You make 8 bowling balls one year, and one of them happens to be the High Road, and one of them happens to be the IQ Tour. Brunswick. You happen to make 8 bowling balls, and then you come out with a Melee Jab, and you come out with like a Mastermind. Those are some of the best-selling bowling balls ever. Why wouldn't you just keep making those?
So,
why are you going to make 30 more fucking bowling balls, have to produce all of them, change everything in your plant?
Agreed.
Redistribute them, sell VIP packages to these random pro shops, have them don't have the money to stock them anyway. Like, keep it simple. Like, oh my God, when is Motive going to make another ball? Oh my God, it's been 5 months. Motive came out with another ball. Oh,
and they would sell more.
Well, the EJ,
hold on, dude.
They would sell more if they did that.
Maybe 18 years ago, there was it was called a gravity something, a virtual. It was a
virtual gravity.
Okay. It wasn't a gravity virtual. Okay, so I got it wrong. Either way,
I'm talking about the blue and orange one, Oach.
Yes, and everybody had it, and it was like the whole, and then the fucking world went on fire. So why didn't they do that? I'm going back. It's got to be 15, 18 years ago, right?
Virtual gravity, yes.
The only ball I heard about.
Yep, that's exactly. So the virtual gravity came out right around the High Road, so it's 2008. So yes.
So now that's the first thing I thought was like, okay, they perfected bowling. Why don't they just take this and tweak it and just keep doing this shit? And if it knocks the pins down, I don't know. And I wasn't watching bowling either, so I don't know if guys were using it. Were the pros using it, or was it just amateurs? It made it amateurs better, or what?
The virtual gravity was
like, were amateurs only using it, or the pros were using it too?
You didn't see the virtual gravity on PBA television nearly as much as you saw the High Road.
Okay.
But in the amateur rankings, everybody and their mother threw a virtual gravity. And then everybody and their mother threw virtual energy right after that ball.
I don't know, because I remember I was bowling with your dad on a team, and like that's why I remember I thought it was called a gravity virtual, but he goes, this fucking gravity thing, it makes a freaking 140 bowler bowl 700.
Not
Scott,
me. I average 220 with a swamp monster. Fuck you.
Scott Shearer.
You never averaged
So
220.
happy you just brought that up, Scott.
For 2 weeks I did.
That was another ball. When track came out with the Triton Heat, I mean, thank God the Triton Heat came out in 1996, 1995, 1996, because it sold like hotcakes because they weren't making a ton of balls. Track opened that line with the Triton, the original like greenish one, sold great. Then they came out with the Coral Reef Triton, the orange one, which sucked. They immediately stopped production. Then they come out with the Triton Heat, which is one of the best bowling balls ever made. They give it a little time. They give it like 8 months. They come out with the Triton Elite, which was the purple one, which also sold like hotcakes. And then from there, they're like, okay, we did work with this name. We'll leave it alone until we re-release it a decade from now or 2 decades from now. Great call there, Scott. So that's another one. But man, I mean, I'm on fire this whole time. I hope Ocho's not mad at me for yelling at both of you earlier, but I
don't think so.
I really don't like Sean Rash, dude.
No, it's all good.
Whenever I get the opportunity to say something about him, I'm just gonna hop on it.
No, I know, and we don't bring it up that often because we know of your
I had
dislike.
to.
But I thought everybody else is talking about it. We might as well just discuss it as well. But
sure.
You ready for the imbecile?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment.
If you guys don't know how to use a seatbelt, just ring your call button and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Here's the imbecile of the week.
Some people are really stupid.
All right, I got 2 subjects here. I kind of want to bring up, and we can just discuss it as we go. This was one I wanted to do last week, but we had Schlem on, so and Ocho talked so much we didn't have time to bring it up. It was about string pins, obviously because the pros bowled on the spring pins. On the string pins, shut up, Ocho. God. And it was kind of a well, let me see if I can find the actual post. I have.
If there were spring pins, Ocho would be doing good.
Lawrence Bennett posted in the USBC Bowlers discussion forum on Facebook and said, string pins, string pins, string pins. The ruining of the most important aspect of bowling to this 74-year-old. Atmosphere, the sounds of pins falling. And when I bowled in a church league at 17 with my dad, it was so awesome. The odor of cigar smoke, albeit not so good now. The alley didn't have a liquor license, but it was attached to a bar. All the bowlers I drank would rush to the bar, buy a beer, tear the label in a certain way, possession, blah, blah, blah. Wood lanes, lacquer, dressed up and down with a spray gun and a broom. That was my introduction to bowling. I was hooked, but until I see EJ Tackett bowling in a tournament on string pins, I will never. There has been many changes in all sports, but baseball players don't use wiffle bats and balls. To which one of our pros, Nate Purchase, says, EJ centered strings. What's your point?
So's Bugs.
True. So this kind of brought up a fascinating amount of people. 190 comments at that point. Let's go. Lawrence tried to kind of defend himself and said, most all of the posts defending string pins read, there are bad breaks in all bowling, or EJ Tackett's bowling center has string pins, or can't see the difference, whatever. What if there were a remote control inside the bowling ball, an invisible string that you could recall the ball prior to hitting the pins to try for a better result?
I don't even know what this says.
Right, great point. It's like war games, dude.
This sounds like Joe Biden to me.
Right?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that means.
He thinks the bowling ball
like a yo-yo, like throw the fucking ball if you don't like
from the one messenger pin.
I don't
like the result. Pull the fucking ball back.
Can I tell you about the original post?
Sure. Yeah.
No,
it's your show, man.
Right?
Right.
Even though Rob thinks it's his show,
that
it's
guy,
your show,
Lawrence, painted a beautiful picture
of how it used to be in the 30s.
A beautiful picture of the way things used to be.
Besides the first part.
During Prohibition, sure.
He played. Look, I personally would rather bowl on free fall or normal bowling pins rather than circus pins. I call them circus pins, even though I have bowled on them and they're okay. They put an emphasis on shot making. They put an emphasis on entry angle. You have to make more quality shots to get the pins to fall. Messengers are few and far between.
Right.
You very, very rarely see one, if ever. But the truth of the matter is evolve or die. And you have to evolve or die. You can't just sit there and expect everything to always be the way that you've always had it.
Sorry.
Blacker.
These comments are killing me.
So I can't call Lawrence an imbecile for preaching what he loves.
He started off with something and then literally went on nothing else that made sense about it, though. Like that had
And then when people tried to correct him, though, and say, like, EJ's, like, literally, they just bowled on fucking TV.
And then at the very end of it,
I think what Lawrence was trying to get at was when the PBA finally says, here's a tournament on string pins, which they did put something on strings. I think it was the Strike Derby.
Yeah.
It was on strings.
Yeah.
But to my point here, though, one of the hardest jobs in the world to find fulfilled is a is an A mechanic in a bowling center. Is an A mechanic in general. And with all those moving parts in the back, you need a really, really experienced person running your machines.
Sure.
And they're very, very few and far between nowadays. The call is just, it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. So it's more cost efficient for the bowling centers to stay open. So what they're trying to do is perfect the next generation. The same way, Lawrence, I know you're 74 years old, bro. You started on lacquer, but you didn't bowl on lacquer your whole life because lacquer was gone in the mid to late 70s. You know, we went to wood, and then we went to polyurethane surfaces. Then we went to synthetic surfaces. We went from hard rock maple pins to synthetic twister pins, back to maple pins. Now I'm watching Tim Foy and the guys on the Players Championship on synthetic pins again. We went from
we're going down so many fucking levels, and this is what you want to fucking die on? Like, this is the hill that you want to die on? Like, he didn't bitch about the rest of that shit over the last fucking 70 years?
That's what I mean. And maybe he did, but he, again, like Ocho said earlier, he didn't have the outlet to do it. Now he does.
Right.
Now he can speak his mind publicly, and now everybody can basically tell him to go fuck himself.
Which they pretty much did.
I'm trying to find the happy medium here where it's more so the brain and where people come from rather than what is actually happening.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Brian Falata says, as proprietor, I have to take issue with that. Hold on. I had a good string here. Oh, yeah. EJ and 9 others bowled on strings today, to which Lawrence said, so what? Wasn't that the point of his whole, like...
the point of your message? Okay.
Literally was the point of his
now
message.
Lawrence is the imbecile.
Okay, that's fair. See, I'm sorry.
Well, you just wrote it, schmuck face.
Yeah, anyway, we'll move on from Lawrence. Oh, all right. The PBA put out the post. Ethan Fiore is 20 years old. He's now a PBA Tour Major champion. To which Pyro said, wake me up when the PBA implements just a modicum of integrity and mandates bowling to be like it has been done since before the written word. Then I'll call him a champion.
The fuck does that mean?
What does that even fucking mean?
That's why I'm asking you two fine, intelligent gentlemen to see if you could interpret.
First off, hey Siri, what is the definition of the word modicum?
That's fair.
Modicum is a small quantity of a particular thing, especially something considered desirable or valuable. Example would be his statement had more than a modicum of truth.
Okay, so just a little bit of integrity there.
Did he bowl two-handed, I guess?
Yes.
Well, there's the problem.
Okay, so Pyro is trying to use 10-cent words, not thinking that anybody has access to the internet.
Because I was like, man, he got his first boner talking to Kimberly Presley and his first title in the same day. Which, good for him.
Yeah, and then he gets to go back to high school, whatever school he's in, and then
he gets to be like, by the way, I'm just, I know I'm a sophomore in college.
Dude,
so...
you're gonna make it to the game this weekend? We're playing South. Like, no, dude, I'm gonna be bowling on.
I just had to win a tournament. I was too busy winning.
And this guy's like, yeah, but he throws with two hands, fucking loser.
Like Shooter McGavin. Yeah, I didn't see it. I was too busy winning. Rob, can you fucking put the screen back up like a fucking normal
I'm just wondering. All right.
You're really going to leave this up for the next 10 minutes? Jesus Christ.
Wake me up when the PBA implements, let's just say,
Dude,
just a little bit of integrity.
Modicum of this
Holy
right now.
Shit. Fucking, this is like.
What do they have to mandate? Like, how was
Rob,
bowling
are you looking
done?
for your neck right now? Seriously?
I want to know what he means. Like,
No, he's trying to fucking act smart.
Revert the sport back to what?
And normally it's normally modicum. I thought, like at least from
No, it's
my
modicum.
Fucking smart knowledge, but
You're
either way,
you're not a spelling expert. You're a doctor. Anyway, fuck pyro. All right, fuck.
So you're going back to it,
Take this shit off, man.
dude. I literally fucking hit a great fucking one-liner, and you fucking ruined it.
You did. I
Like bringing back up pyro. You gonna do it again now?
I wasn't listening.
Hey, why don't we put up Pyro's thing and then make him like he's already an asshole. It's fine. Now my boner joke went to fucking waste.
I do like what you brought to the table for the Imbecile this week, Rob. This is some good stuff. And obviously, for anybody that's actually interested, this is some real stuff here. The Union County Fair, good old Illinois Union County Fair, is coming up soon.
It is. Illinois.
Still stands. It will forever in time rest in our hearts and our minds.
This is their new logo, but we'll never forget this. The internet is forever.
Is that really the new logo?
That is the new logo. If you go to their website right now, they changed it in 2024.
Get out of here.
No, I swear.
Go back to the old logo one more time for the fans.
That was the new champ talking to Kimberly Pressler.
Yes.
This chick. Yeah.
Speaking of shout outs, I have to give a very, very important one to a very important person that I recently met named Lisa. So, Lisa, I promised I'd give you a shout out on the show today. So, looking forward to seeing you soon. And Ocho's pool will be open soon, so we can broadcast live from there. Get your shit ready, lady. Thanks again.
Am I invited to your pool, Ouch?
Dude, you want to fly from
No. There's not enough. No. It'll be empty.
Not enough water in the pool for for Free Willy. No, that's fair.
No. Plus, we have standards,
laws and regulations.
JP knows.
Yeah, no, I understand. I don't go anywhere with my t-shirt off anyway.
The pool has standards.
I get it. Ocho, have you found any podcasts lately?
Nope.
Not one.
Nor have I found your neck.
Have you even looked for my neck?
Well, it's hard to look. Just get this shit going. Come on.
If you guys want to listen to us on the audio waves, on the go,
give us a 5-star review. Damn it, nobody has.
If you're at the gym, we are on every single podcast app. Literally anywhere podcasts are found. Even if Ocho isn't looking for them, you can still find this podcast on any podcast app. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it is now. I don't even know what it is anymore. If you're watching on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. It's free. We're up to 848
27
subs, I believe.
27 followers. Hell yeah.
We're getting new subs every time. We appreciate everybody that watches on any platform, whether it's Johnny's page, my page, our Twitter handle, which is @StraightUp5Podcast, or on YouTube, which we're getting close to.
So close.
Getting close to going national. By me national.
Like
within,
at the post office.
Within a couple weeks,
we're
going to be
your picture at the post office.
Right. Fucking asshole. We're going to be teaming up with a major hitter in the New York radio market.
Pedro Serrano.
No, not him. Not him.
He was Cleveland anyway, so keep
Dwight,
going.
it's Dwight Gooden, but I'm not supposed to tell you guys that anyway. Yes, we are on Spotify. Actually, more people listen to us on Spotify than they do any other podcast app. So thank you, Spotify. But in any event, so big things are coming for the show. And I have Jeff Skyers working a separate channel, which I wasn't aware of until the last couple of days. He asked me for our numbers and our stats and all that. He has a guy that is in the business that knows how to market. So that's also new to you, Johnny. I haven't even told you guys that yet. So we're doing big things.
As always, Rob, and thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, we appreciate Jeff Skarzinski. What the fuck did he change? You haven't been on Facebook in a while. Jeff changed his name to something Polish. I can't even pronounce it. Fuck you,
You shouldn't
Joe
call him Michael Hogan.
Fuck you, Joe Boo. I do it myself. I love that fucking. That's free on YouTube, by the way. If you want to watch Major League literally for free, it's on YouTube right now.
Toronto
Good
hit
plug. Rob knows how to plug the free shit, but not the shit that benefits us. Good job, buddy. Way to go.
As a matter of fact, he hasn't touched the ball yet. This guy leads the league in most offensive categories, including nose hair. When this guy sneezes, he looks like a party favor.
This guy even hit his kid in a father-son tournament.
Duke.
I think we should all go watch that right now. In any event, next week I believe we're getting Timmy Mack on the show. His PBA duties his tour duties will be up, so he will be available for the rest of the year until everything starts up again next year. So we'll get Timmy Mack on here as well. Who else am I working on? Daria Poyok. Will be on once the tour starts. Her Wednesdays are booked until the women's tour starts, so we're going to have her on here.
Post anybody until they confirm, damn it.
And ball 4, ball 8, ball 12. I love you.
Man, how can these guys lay off pitches that close?
He tried the corner and missed.
Just a bit outside.
Not too high, too hard.
Ocho's freezing.
Nice cock.
Gabriella has that, by the way.
Does she have the giant cock? All right, are we done?
Which is bigger? Hold on.
It's close, man. It's close.
It's close. Guys, we appreciate hanging out. We'll see you guys next week right here. Same time, same channel. I love you guys. All of you. And
except Doc Sullivan.
For Johnny's giant cock, I'm Rad Rob. There's the Oach. We out. See you next week. I'm hitting the intro now, or the outro now.
Let's hit the intro, because he would do that. This fucking scab.
Don't say it, Oach, because you know.
Come on, let's go!
Hi, I'm super excited to be able to wish Ocho a happy birthday today. Over the past 3 years or so, Ocho's wished me a happy birthday about 138 times. So I'm really excited today to be able to wish Ocho a happy birthday too. I know Ocho is ageless and timeless, but I hope you have a happy birthday.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Johnny Jr. at JPJR07. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question for Johnny? Send your questions to straightup5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.